What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from Unsleeved Media, working on the quartering set currently. Running a little bit behind today, but today's topic is about Magic Arena, indirectly, but directly about Magic the Gathering pre-release. It is, in my opinion, the best event that Magic the Gathering puts on. If you don't know what it is, it's basically an option a couple times a year. A new set of cards comes out. It pushes out an old set in terms of what people are currently playing and announces and rolls out a brand new set. Pre-release is a chance to play with the cards, usually a week ahead of time. And my all-time favorite event to attend would be the midnight release. So Friday, a week before the new set released, would have a midnight release, and you'd have maybe 100 players get together in a small local game store eating pizza and Taco Bell, and you'd play a tournament until 4 in the morning. These events vary in size from some as small as only 10 or 15 people, but as large as several hundred, depending on the size of the local game store. But the reason I love pre-release so much is because of the bonding that goes on. You get in a room with a bunch of and a lot of times this is the only time of year you see a local game store will see a lot of the more casual players. They'll come to pre-release for this event, but they're not the type of players that play competitively, so they won't see those players on like a Friday Night Magic or a big tournament like on a Saturday. They might see them on Commander events or more casual events, but it's rare. So pre-release is an opportunity for local game stores to make a decent amount of money in a 3-day span. And it's also an opportunity for the community to grow, because oftentimes you end up with a bunch of new players in the room, meeting each other, meeting more skilled players, more veteran players. And generally you're able to turn them into people that might actually show up to draft. My favorite thing to do is to talk to new and returning players at pre-release when I'm chatting and in between matches, and try to encourage them to come back to the local game shop and draft and not be intimidated by showing up for organized play, which is, no easy task for somebody that's never come to a Friday Night Magic before. It can be kind of intimidating. You really want to turn a lot of these pre-release attendees into full-time store attendees. But this year, it would now pre-release is going up against Magic Arena more common. Now, Magic Arena is basically, obviously, Magic Online, similar, same cards and everything as Magic Online, different economy a little bit, but it's Magic the Gathering's attempt to be more attractive to streamers and for esports, and that's why they play best of 1 in Magic Arena, which is dumb, instead of best of 3, which is real Magic. And until Magic Arena plays best of 3, it will never truly be Magic the Gathering to me. For a best of 1 match, it puts control type decks so far out in front of other types of decks because you have no opportunity to sideboard. Sideboarding is where the real decisions get made by competitive and professional Magic the Gathering players. By removing the sideboard, you remove one of the most important processes in the game, the chess match in between games, to counterpunch certain things that might be in that other deck, which is one of the major problems I have with the current competitive scene on Magic Arena. But one other issue I have is today I noticed that as I'm kind of weakening a little bit on not wanting to play Magic, I'm like, maybe I'll play some Arena. Never put any money into it, so I could play for free and whatever. But I noticed that Magic Arena had already released Ravnica Allegiance on the digital format. Now, if you're unaware, local game stores are or were the backbone of Magic the Gathering. You can't play Magic the Gathering at your local department store. You have to play it at home, or you play it at a local game store. These dinosaurs have basically been held together by Wizards of the Coast and Magic the Gathering organized play over the years, and it would appear to me that Wizards of the Coast is starting to try and force them out. By releasing the set early on Magic Arena, you're disincentivizing people to show up for pre-release. The reason so many people would attend pre-release but not any other event is because it would be cool. It's a cool thing to be able to play the set early. Now, already today, I could be playing the latest Magic the Gathering set, and you might argue that, okay, well, this just gives people a chance to prepare a little bit more, and it's only going to make them more excited to go play Paper Magic. And while that might be true for some, one thing it does do is for 100% of people, it removes the cool factor or the mystique of being able to play with the cards early, because now I can play with them on Wizards of the Coast official app several days before actual pre-release events happen. Now, maybe I'll be wrong, and maybe attendance will strongly improve or just greatly improve, I suppose, because of this. It's possible. It's possible that releasing the set on Magic Arena early will be a tide that raises all boats, but I suspect it will not be. There will at least be some percentage of people that, I've got my fill of the new set, I'm not going to go to pre-release now. And there will be some percentage of people that spend their money on Magic Arena instead of spending it at their local game store. There will be some percentage of people that, well, to be honest, find out they don't like the new set and then they don't go to pre-release. There are very many options, very many scenarios where releasing the set to the digital marketplace early hurts local game stores, and only a few where it actually helps them. And for Wizards of the Coast to release this, we've already seen Wizards of the Coast hosting premier events, premier break the server events during Friday Night Magic, which is the day of the week when all the local game stores hold their Magic the Gathering events. We've seen Wizards directly competing against local game stores for wallet share and timeshare. And to be honest, when you can play Magic the Gathering without ever leaving your house, you're going to be a lot less incentivized to get up and go into the community. Now, some people will still want to be a part of the community, but they were never really at risk. I'm talking about all the fringe people in the middle who love the game but could take or leave the community, which, to be honest with you, is probably a large section of people. And while Wizards did announce today that they are finally fixing the 5th card issue, which has been one of the biggest issues in the beta. And to be honest, the beta, while it has had its problems, it's been pretty smooth. The 5th card issue is well known and a big issue, a big drawback, but having that fixed is going to only help Magic Arena. Now, I thought, and I probably incorrectly said, that this app would be DOA. It appears to be doing decently, and Wizards of the Coast is absolutely investing a ton of money into paying streamers and NFL players to shill for it. But I don't see the advantage of releasing the set early here, other than to be a distraction and get people to jump on Magic Arena instead of going into the local game store. And when all the local game stores are gone and people have moved on away from Arena, because to me a best of one is not playing Magic the Gathering, not having Commander, not having Modern or Pauper formats. These are different formats that aren't a part of Arena and may never be a part of Arena. We're going to see the actual life force of Magic the Gathering, the way the game is played, slowly be kind of eroded and simplified, and this is not going to be good for local game stores. I am curious, though, what you think. Do you think that this is going to be a net positive thing for local game stores? Of all the events that I could go to if I weren't banned in Magic the Gathering, the only one I really miss is pre-release, and that's because of just kind of the feeling that you have a little mini tournament going with your buddies. That's how it always felt to me. I never went to pre-releases that had, hundreds of people. Actually, only once I did at when I was living in Louisville. That was intense. I did top 8 that pre-release, and I thought Hangerback Walker sucked, and I didn't play it in my deck. In fact, I left it in the box and somebody stole it. So that happens. But I remember that at TTD Games. Great store. A lot of fond memories. All my best Magic the Gathering memories are either at a Grand Prix or at a pre-release. And that's about all that I miss about playing Magic the Gathering. And I hate to see anything that could negatively impact an already very difficult business, and that is running a local game store. But I hope I'm wrong, and I hope everyone goes and has fun at pre-release. Even if you're just a returning player or a new player, it's okay as long as you understand the absolute basics of the game. You can open the new cards, have fun, and meet people who will teach you, and everyone's always very welcoming. I hope you enjoyed this video, though, and we'll talk to you again real soon.